who have been inspired by poetry and poets. And on the odd day this summer when you're not at Storm King, I want you to have a chance to also go to Governor's Island. And we're going to have a second year of Mark DeSubro's exhibition that we opened last year. And you take a very short 5-minute ferry to Governor's Island, and it's really quite striking. And I bring that up because one of the works of Mark's there has the title Poum, P-O-U-M, which we were just talking about earlier with Kay, was a title that was given to Mark by Ezra Pound, who in their correspondence about poetry, and Mark wrote poem, and Ezra Pound crossed it out and said, no, it is P-O-U-M. So there's a piece by that name on Governor's Island, which is a beautiful kinetic piece, and you should see that too, again, when you're not here. I also want to have you save the date. If the last thing you do before you put your cell phones on mute is go to your calendar and just mark the date of September 23rd, because that will be a special poetry event that we're doing on Governor's Island and collaborating with Poets House on that event. And I also want to thank and express my appreciation today to the great leadership of Poets House. Margot Viscusi, who's chair of the board, and it made possible the fantastic new home, a mecca for poetry in Lower Manhattan, that is the gorgeous new, not so new now, but still new to many of us, is the headquarters for Poets House. And also Lee Brissetti, the president, who also has for many years led that institution and led it to this fabulous new home. And we're thrilled to be working with you on a special day of poetry at Governor's Island on September 23rd. Poetry has also been a focus in the Storm King family and my own family. And I want to thank Peter Stern, our co-founder of Storm King and chairman who's here today, who has had a long appreciation and love for poetry and initiated annual poetry readings here many years ago. And so we've been fortunate to have a wide range of poets, including Stanley Kunitz, Galway Kinnell, W.S. Merwin, Naomi Shihab Nye, Ulla Hahn, and many others. My mother, Joan Ogden Stern, who is scheduled to be here, and I've not seen her yet, but she is a published poet and a teacher who nurtured a love of poetry in our family. And then most recently, when I turned the age that my daughter refers to as a pack of cards, for obvious reasons, she presented me with a self-published collection of her own poems entitled Earth Sky Poetry by Julia Amani Lawrence Stern, the latest published poet in the family. This day and this reading would not have been possible without the initiative and leadership of my stepmother, Helen Strutt English, through the Maurice English Poetry Award. And Kay Ryan is one of the recipients of that award. And it's with Helen's leadership that we've been able to have a series of extraordinary poets and poet laureates the last several years here at Storm King. There's not a family birthday or anniversary that goes by without a wonderful spontaneous poem of Helen's appearing, either electronically or in a card, which are always witty and very creative. And so before I invite Helen to introduce Kay up here, I just want to reiterate that Kay has been nice enough to agree to sign books afterwards. And she told me on a tour we just had, which I did not know, and I was delighted to hear that one of her books, which I don't think we have today, but has a wonderful photo of David Smith's work when we were touring in one of her collections. So the sculpture poetry connection abounds. Helen.